This is Boss Hogg Radio, home of Born to Ride Radio.
Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Everyone was right, I was born to ride.
Born to Ride is a multimedia marketing and promotional machine with TV, magazines, streaming radio, and internet advertising opportunities. There are tens of thousands of motorcycles. We reach the people who ride them. Born to Ride. Find out more at borntoride.com.
This is Boss Hogg Radio, home of Born to Ride Radio. You can join the motorcycle enthusiast conversation by calling 863-225-2000.
Welcome to another Thursday edition of Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. I'm Fester Jenkins, and in the studio across from me, Skylar.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the studio. And, of course, Ron and Debbie Galletti are in the studio, too. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Good to be here. Mama Nick's here somewhere, too, right?
She's that gallbladder's kicking her butt right now. So, so she's not going to be here this evening. She said it's...
Well, she's here in spirit, people.
That's right. Miss you, Mama Dukes.
I hope you feel better.
Best.
So, how was you guys this week? You guys get any good rides in, or was it raining too much?
Yeah. We got Fred out there circulating, ready to hit Florida pretty well, huh?
But we did get in a few miles.
Yeah.
And it's always fun because when you got miles, you got smiles.
Is that our new Think Motorcycle?
Smiles to the mile.
Yeah. That's where I saw your bike parked out there.
Oh, I try and, get on an hour at least a week, from that standpoint. But, no.
Wait, what do you call your bike? What's the nickname of your bike?
Now that one's just the Slim. Okay, that's the one that I bought. That is the Harley Slim. But I've built one back in 2006. And that one we refer to as the Beast.
Oh, the Beast. That's right.
You gotta bring that around.
Yeah, we gotta see the Beast. Oh gosh, how did it get the nickname the Beast?
I guess it's got a lot of metal work, and it looks
beastly.
It looks beastly, and it's huge. And I'm 6'2". I've got a good stature, and it takes someone that's at least 6 foot plus to actually sit in the seat and touch the foot pegs and the handlebars. It's a big one.
So that Mama Dukes, you're out on that one.
Mama Dukes can't.
She can't reach that.
I know Joe and I are talking about building my first bike is going to be built by me. And he's like, what kind of bike do you want? I'm like, I don't know, a Sportster. I'm 5'3". Like, it's something a little rinky-dink, I need something small.
And you've been doing some welding this week, right?
I have been.
How's it going?
In the shop. It's actually, everybody keeps pressuring me. They're like, show us your welds. I'm like, they're not good yet. But I actually did some that I was really proud of this week because I was having a lot of problems with porosity and blah, 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 technical terms. And finally Joe goes, you're doing it completely wrong. He's like, little circles. This is how you do it. This is how you do this. And I'm like, so I've been sitting here for 2 weeks doing it completely wrong is what you're telling me. And he's like, yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, Master. Grasshopper appreciates that.
Well, he is a good teacher.
It's the way you learn.
It is.
I did a lot of, in fact, I learned at the Skills Training Center at Tampa Electric, worked in the production department. And they gave us... I guess I was there in the evenings after my regular shift for a couple months and, just a couple hours a night. Yeah. And they would sit there, the instructor would sit there and tell you, it's probably going to take you 80 to 100 hours before you start really seeing what you're doing. Of course, we were stick welding, and it's not MIG, but, and it is. And just one day, one afternoon, I'm in there and I'm trying and it's, and I'm just, you're getting frustrated, and it was like all of a sudden you had been in a dark room and someone just turned on the light switch and wow, I can see the puddle. I know what he's been talking about for months.
I can see the puddle?
Yeah.
It's a puddle.
It's a puddle of steel that you're welding.
Oh,
yeah.
I gotcha. Oh, okay. Interesting.
I always think of it as like, and this is a weird way of thinking of it, is like, I used to do a lot of art and a lot of painting. And so I think of it as like my little pool of paint. And then you got to like, use the brush strokes and pull it out and make the brush strokes of this pool of metal. But, I'm still waiting for that wonderful aha moment in doing all of these little coupons, all these little pieces of steel, just the same thing over and over again. It's great. We love it.
My instructor says there's nothing that can do it except for just time underneath that hood. And,
That's true.
80 hours to 100 hours, that's a lot of hours underneath the hood, just trying to figure out what you're doing.
Well, the great thing about Joe, too, as an instructor, as a teacher, as a mentor, is that I'm very stubborn, and he realizes this. So the best thing is he lets me fail on my own first, and then lets me come back to him and go, I failed. And he goes, now you ready to learn the right way?
That always works.
Every time.
Dang, Ron, maybe I should do that with you. Stubborn. Let you fail at it.
Best thing to do is just listen to Joe. He'll guide you in the right direction. He's a master welder.
Oh, he really is.
He really knows what he's doing. Matter of fact, if anybody needs any kind of welding needs, FTW Customs, easy to get a hold of.
That man never. 646-416-3332. And if he doesn't answer, leave a message, because he always gets back to literally everybody who leaves a message. Terrible with his phone, but please leave a message.
And speaking about Joe and FTW, man, they're still talking about MotoFest.
I know.
Man. People are really talking about MotoFest still.
A couple of people called the office. They can't wait to see the footage on the TV show. Some people that weren't able to make it.
That was a blast.
Yeah. A couple wipeouts that happened too, right? Going around the barrels.
Yeah, there was a lot of.
There was a few spills. I mean, what do you expect that on the rodeo? You expect it.
Yeah.
They come for that, man. Like if you go to a bullfight, they want to see someone get hit with the horns.
That's
man.
right. They want
That's
to
how I
see
was
blood.
advertising it. I was like, do you want to see drunken idiots on bikes gonna wipe out and come to MotoFest?
Well, not so much drunken, because we won't let you on the bike if you're drunk. So we can't have that.
Right.
They could hide it from us, but for
I'm sorry,
insurance
idiots
policy
on bikes.
reasons,
Yeah. For
insurance
disclaimer.
policy reasons, we can't do that.
But the Misfit mini bike races were great. And speaking of Misfit mini bike races, they're going to be now in Cherokee, right?
Well, they're going to be part of Chopper Town. They're not going to be racing. They're going to be on display because we felt that everybody grew up, and one of the first experiences of riding anything was a mini bike. I myself, my friend had one, and we couldn't wait till his dad to come home so each one of us could take our turn riding it. You pull start that thing. And that's what the Misfit mini bike guys bring to the table, is that extended culture of youth when you started riding. And I think any biker will appreciate that, because these guys are for real. They're down with everything, and they're creating these cool bikes and mini bikes.
And you see these mini bikes that Mason puts together, and you sit there and say, why wasn't this kind of mini bike in my childhood? I mean, these are souped up. I mean, these things do 60 miles per hour.
Probably because we would have wiped out on them as kids,
Yeah, so they're going to be at Chopper Town at the Cherokee Blue Ridge Run. Matter of fact, I think Mark is going to call in tonight and talk a little bit about Cherokee, the beauty, the nature of the rally. They're going to have flat track racing. Over 200 racers are going to be there. Of course, we're doing Chopper Town. Dave Perowitz is going to be there. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we're building invitational bike builders that are going to be there. And we got a whole room full just about, and we're excited about it, because it's real. It's not a bunch of guys with $80,000 motorcycles, $100,000 bikes that they just trailered in, and that's cool too. But for this show, these are like knuckle busting real guys. A lot of guys coming up from Florida. It's that Chopper Town feel like we had in Sarasota, and it's exciting that we're getting to do it with Mark at the Cherokee Blue Ridge Run. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, Cherokee. Just a beautiful area to have an event. I love it because they have the old motel style lodging where you have a front porch and everybody just kind of hangs on their porch all together and, passes drinks and food down along the line. And, the weather at night is beautiful. And,
Maggie Valley's on the other side of the mountain. You just ride right over there.
You can go through to
the
Dale's
casino, though. What about the casino?
That's trouble now. That's trouble.
That's where we're going.
I start at the buffet and then I end up at the slot machines.
Oh, man.
No, that's a beautiful casino, though. It's really nice.
Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's there.
Yeah.
The beautiful run in between Cherokee and Maggie Valley, like you're saying. Absolutely.
And we're bringing Fester and Mama Dix are coming too this year.
Yeah.
We're going to get them to go.
That's right.
We're gonna have another Angel City Fester.
I see no doubt. No doubt.
Fester's getting some rallies under his belt this year, huh? What happened at Angel City now? That's another rally coming up in the fall. You gotta.
Yep, that's coming up as well.
What happened in the spring?
I will
Fester?
tell you that the Georgia boys know they party in a certain way there. Okay, you know what I mean?
The
Georgia
moonshine
boy.
comes out up there.
Hey, that'll take care of any virus you might have.
Yeah,
That's the
Or
elixir.
create one.
Yeah, that's the elixir everyone needs right now.
It's been my belief this entire pandemic is that moonshine cures everything.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Moonshine and Mad Dog 2020.
That could be a good option.
Yeah, that was always on my grandma's list. Here, have some of these cherries, Grandma. They're strong. They're fermented in moonshine.
I'm about to make pineapples and moonshine
Yeah.
for my birthday. I got a big thing of moonshine. I'm about to put pineapples in it. See how
Yeah.
that comes out. Because I was told you can't do mangoes. I was told that mangoes get too soft and stringy.
Oh.
But you can apparently do pineapples.
I ran into an old friend one time at Publix, and he says, "Come on out to the parking lot, meet me at the car." And he pops the trunk and says, "Look, I've been making this." And I'm like, "Are we doing moonshine in the parking lot here at Publix?"
That was my first introduction to the South. Is I moved from Massachusetts to Louisiana in 2016, and we had that huge flood. And my uncle, my Cajun uncle is what I call him, goes, "You want to make moonshine?" And I was 18 years old, and we made blueberry moonshine during the middle of this massive, just like 1 in a million chance flood that wiped out all of Baton Rouge.
Oh.
And we're just making moonshine.
I remember that flood. Somebody sent us a picture. They had both their Harleys parked in the garage, and the water was up to the tanks on both of them. It was
It wiped
crazy.
out everything. It was
devastating.
crazy. Yeah, I lived through that. That happened a week after I moved to Louisiana.
Jeez. Welcome party, huh?
Right? I was like, so this is the South.
Yeah.
Nice. I have not yet been through an actual hurricane yet, so that's on my bucket list.
Oh, you keep that on your bucket list, on your side of town.
Whoa.
We have a call already?
Yes, we've got Danny here from Rubenstein Law. Hello, are you there, Danny?
I'm here, guys.
Oh,
Okay,
hey,
welcome
Danny.
to the
How
show.
you doing?
Danny, how you doing
What's up,
today,
Dan?
man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you guys?
Good. And you know what? Fester, you always have such nice things to say about Rubenstein Law. Isn't that cool? Danny called. What do you have to
Absolutely.
say to Danny since you got him right one-on-one?
I will tell you that, you've got a fan in one of our gentlemen that works here at the studio. He had a spill a couple months back, and he has nothing but nice things to say about Rubenstein Law. And I would have to tell all of our listeners, if you find yourself in that type of position, 1-800-FL-LEGAL is the phone number that you need to remember. Absolutely.
So, Danny, someone actually needed the help of Rubenstein, and they came through for him, and that's a good story. That's a real story today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love to hear it, and I'm very lucky to be in the position that I'm in with such a great company. That these are stories that we don't like to hear because they're never a good start, but it's usually a good ending when they come with us, and we do our best to try to help people out. And when we go out to festivals and, we see people and they come and they're like, "Hey, man, you guys were able to help me out." So, I take pride in being a part of such a great team. And, Rubenstein Law has been the one to take care of riders for a really long time. And, that's what we're going to continue doing.
Yeah, with 12 offices across the state of Florida, over 300-something employees, you head up and are part of the promotions, correct? And also the motorcycle division and the marketing department. Tell us a little bit about what you do at Rubenstein Law, Danny.
So I'm the event coordinator. I help the firm pretty much be out there, boots on the ground, interacting with the communities. We do a lot in the communities. As you guys know, we're obviously very involved in in the motorcycle community, but we do a lot in all of the communities. You know, we try to give back to schools and go to churches and give back to those that need the help. For example, this month, it's back to school, so we're giving out 2,000 backpacks throughout the state, you know, in all the major cities, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami. And, you know, we go to these events, we partner. Some of them are big events like, you know, partnering with Cox Media Group and 99 Jams and giving out bags there. But then we also go to the smaller groups that also need our help down in Florida City, where, you know, it's just a small academy, maybe 100 people coming by. But, you know, we try to take care of as many people as we can. And, you know, we don't really pick and choose whether it's big or small. We're there and we're trying to help. So that's just some of the stuff that we do that's not motorcycle. You know, we do a lot with youth sports. We try to help out with Little League football, Little League baseball. You know, and anytime a school comes to us and they're looking for some help, and not every single time, but, you know, we try to be fair and spread it out and help everybody in areas that we know are important and things that are going to help, you know, better our community and just all around just be a good partner in the community.
Yeah, Danny, as the event coordinator, you do a lot of events, and it isn't just motorcycle, although you do a lot of motorcycle stuff, and we'll get into even more of that. But the community involvement is so important because you reach so many people. Your company reaches so many people, you know, for different reasons and can help many people. But why is it so important to you and your company to really give back and help the kids and like backpacks for school, over 2,000? I mean, that's pretty awesome, but why do you do it?
You know, we feel like it's the right thing and the best thing that we can do, you know, and it all stems down from Robert himself. You know, Robert's a very caring and giving guy. You know, you can see it in the staff and everybody that works for him, you know, is long term, and, you know, everyone has that feeling because it all comes down, and it's just, makes you feel good too, you know, that you're able to be a part of something, and it's almost like you do it once and you want to do it again. You want to keep helping and giving back. And, you know, we do it through Thanksgiving, we do it through the holidays, and any occasion. I mean, Breast Cancer Month and all kinds of ways that we can help when, and we see it's a spot for us to chip in, and, you know, whether it's big or small, we try to do that, and we take pride in that.
Being around a man like Mr. Rubenstein, that's got to be kind of cool when you're in like a meeting room, that awesome meeting room that you do have, the boardroom rather. What is it like to be around him? Doesn't it kind of make you want to be a better man?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Danny, you're a good guy.
I mean, you are, but, you know, being around winners like that, it just makes you be better. What? Tell me about that. Tell me about Mr. Rubenstein and how he inspires his team, because, I mean, ultimately you got a great team, and there's a reason, because leadership.
Of course. I mean, he's a fearless leader, and, you know, he's a name that rings bells. You know, in every community, every ethnicity, he's somebody that's really built a great reputation for himself, you know, and I'm proud to have a relationship with him. And, you know, we talk about future and, you know, some past, and I learn a lot just sometimes not even saying anything, you know, just being there and hearing what he's got to say. That's, you know, it's a great room to be in if you're sitting in the same room as Robert. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, it's been a blessing. I'll be honest with you; it's really been a blessing to work with somebody of his caliber.
It's very important because his name is on the wall. You know, his name is on the company, and, you know, when we got involved with Rubenstein Law, we wanted to come meet him and get a chance to look him in the eye and say, who are we going to do business with? Because this is a big, important move for us. And I tell you, when we left that day, we were going, man, that is a nice man, and we're really excited to start a relationship with Mr. Rubenstein, and then working with his staff and team and everybody. Just it's really been fun. I mean, because we've done a lot of great things, and, you know, and we just did the Moto Fest, was fun, but, you know, when we left that meeting, Debbie and I felt really cool about a new relationship with you guys, and it's so important to have a good relationship, don't you think?
Well, it has been great, and the one thing I observed all along, and I really like, I'm comfortable with, is the whole organization is humble. They're very humble. They don't have to beat their chest. They don't have to, scream and yell and, flash this and flash that. They do what they do. They look out for people. They do the right thing. They care about people, and they do it every day in a nice, humble way. And
they're not braggadocious.
No.
They're not what?
Braggadocious. So
they're real.
Yeah. So it's been very pleasant, and and you're working with us with the biker community, which is great. But I think you found also that bikers need assistance with elderly care, malpractice, any type of other legal issues, and Rubenstein has been there for them for everything that may occur in their daily life.
Yeah, of course. And, for a long time, we were more known for, the typical personal injuries, slip and falls and car accidents, which we absolutely still do that, and that's something that we like to continue doing and helping people. But now with the motorcycles, it's like a new aspect for us. So I think we're heading in the right direction with the company. We've got offices opening up every so often, and we continue expanding. So I think we got a bright future.
Mm-hmm. And Danny, you're a rider too, and you're getting out there and getting with the people and learning more and more about the biker community all the time. But it's got to be exciting to you to be involved more and more involved in motorcycling.
Yeah, definitely. It's been extremely cool for me because I've always been an enthusiast, a gearhead. I hear an engine and just my ears perk up. But I was always more into cars. My uncle and my family were into trucks and 4x4s and cars, race cars and stuff like that. And motorcycles were always, there on the sidelines. We were more of an off-road type of family when it came to motorcycles and stuff like that. But just being around this in the motorcycle community, and we built Lady Justice, and we were often with the cartel baggers, and it was inevitable for me to kind of put the four wheels down and pick up two, and so I've been riding for about almost a year now. I started off with a Supermoto and moved on over to a Triumph. I got a Thruxton R now, which I'm absolutely in love with her. It's been cool, man. This lifestyle, it's hard to be close to it and not get sucked in and just want to ride.
Now, Danny, I've got a question though. Okay, how much seat time have you had on Lady Justice? Okay, does anyone get to ride Lady Justice? I mean, that bike's meant to be ridden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So to answer your first question, as far as how much seat time have I had on it, probably about an hour, and that's without it moving. That just needs to be
Oh, come on now. Okay. Who do I need to call and talk to? Okay, somebody's got to straighten somebody out over there.
Yeah. I think Ed is guarding her.
Ed rides. Ed's a super cool dude, and Ed's had the pleasure of riding her, and he takes care of her. He's had her since she came out. Lady Justice came out March of 2020, and unfortunately that's when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So, we wanted to use her a lot more out the gate, but lately we've been having our chances to take her out and showcase, and everyone I know you guys have seen her, but the bike serves exactly what she was made for. Everybody looks at her. Everyone's got something to say, ask questions, take pictures, and she's just a total piece of art. It's just, I hope to someday, have the trust in where they can let me ride it. But right now, I've only been riding for about a year. I just got myself what you would say a real bike, 1200cc. It's a big, heavy bike. So I'm right now I'm getting my experience before I can jump onto Lady Justice, because she's a beast. She's,
okay. You know what? Lady Justice is a jaw dropper when you see it. I mean, but it represents the company. It represents the firm, and it's immaculate. And it kind of says excellence, like the firm. And isn't that kind of cool to have something like that as a flagship? And speaking of that, Cartel Baggers, I know, is a big part of that. And I want to talk a little bit about those guys, because you have something going on in the Keys coming up in September. But to have Lady, to have the motorcycle represent the firm like that, it really tees it off so well.
And our flag, a red, white, and blue.
But it's that
awesome.
Rubenstein theme that just is a knockout, 100%.
Yeah, over at the Keys Poker Run with Cartel Baggers. This is going to be the third year that we do it, and I mean it's a blast. You know, those guys, they're very friendly and community oriented. They're always involved with charities and fundraisers, and their MO fits ours. They're always giving back to the community, helping out, whether it be turkey drives or breast cancer awareness rides, and helping out with the police assistance trust, the Pope ride. And this poker run is no different from the rest of them. It's a weekend out of it, but it's police escorted ride. Everyone rides responsibly and just is there to support and have a good time, responsibly, which is the most important part.
And they're really about family too, those guys. And what a great
definitely.
relationship that must be with those guys. And Cartel Fort Lauderdale came up to the Moto Fest. It was so good to see them. Their bikes were just off the chain. But it's a beautiful motorcycle, and it represents your company, and it's got to give everybody in the company a lot of pride.
Yeah, for sure. Not everyone has gotten to see her in person, but those that do, I know that they've got to feel a little proud that they work for such a cool company with such a cool bike, out there representing for them, and people see us out on social media and stuff like that. So I think she's making a pretty nice splash in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And
gorgeous bike.
Yes, and the event at the Keys, it's a getaway weekend, September 24th through the 26th, and it's at Opal Key Resort and Marina. And now this benefits the American Cancer Society as well. Is that correct?
Yes, it does. The American Cancer Society actually comes out often. They have a slingshot. Heather works with American Cancer Society. She's great. If you guys ever, see a blonde chick in a slingshot with the American Cancer Society stickers on it, just say hi to her. It's Heather. She's super sweet. And yeah, she does a great job with them, and all of her staff does a great team, and they come along, and the donations, we make a donation to them also, and everybody there contributes, and I believe part of the proceeds also goes to American Cancer Society.
We're talking to Danny from Rubenstein Law. If you just tuned in, we're talking about our relationship and what they do in the community statewide, one of the most powerful, largest firms in the state. We're going to go to a break, Danny. Stay with us because we want to talk more about the events that you have coming up in Florida for the biker community and anything else that Rubenstein has coming up, okay?
All right, be here.
Okay, hang on. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on there, Danny. I'm going to put you on hold. You're listening to Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. It's Thursday evening edition, and we'll be right back after these short messages here.
Check out the all-new BornToRide.com with radio, TV, industry, adventure, events, magazine, social media, and much more. It's the all-new BornToRide.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer on average got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Find us on Facebook, Born to Ride TV and magazine, the ultimate multimedia biker experience.
You can join the motorcycle enthusiast conversation at 863-225-2000. Now, here's more of your hosts, Fester Jenkins and Mama Dukes on Born to Ride Radio.
Welcome back to Born to Ride Radio. I'm Fester Jenkins. Mama Dukes is missing this evening, but in the studio, we've got Skylar from FTW with us, Ron and Debbie Galletti from the conglomeration Born to Ride TV and magazine. Yeah. How do you like that one there? And of course, we've got Daniel from Rubenstein Law himself on the line. You still there, Danny?
I'm still here, guys.
Okay.
Oh, cool, man.
Welcome back.
You know, we just heard the commercial, Rubenstein Law, and, you know, it's a great company to work with, and we're excited about it. But the power that they have is the power that they have to help you. If you ever need the help, Rubenstein Law is the number to call because they'll fight for you. And I've heard people tell me that they fought and fought and fought until they got the settlements that they deserved. And Danny, how does it make you feel to have a power pack behind you that if someone you know gets into a bind where they need an attorney or to help them through something that you represent that company?
Yeah, it feels good. You know, I my family knows, my friends know, and you know everybody knows, and not just injuries, but you know, I have people that know me or whatnot ask me certain things, and I work in a company with over 40 attorneys, so you know I can ask here and there for a little bit of advice maybe or some consultation and see if to try to help my people out. And if people have a case, I mean, I always bring them in and try to get them the best help. And even if I don't know them, sometimes they just, hey, my buddy, and it's somebody that I don't know, and we take them on and we give them the best help. And I've heard from a couple of, people that are not necessarily that close to me, but that have come through, and then they say, oh, thank you so much, everything was able to get resolved and you guys helped me out. So it's something to definitely be proud of.
Well, you're in the field a lot, so a lot of people do come up to you and say, hey, I've got a problem, or should I call? What can I do? And the way you respond is so important to the company to help facilitate their needs, and it's so important. But speaking of being out in the field, I know you have some stuff coming up. Let's talk about some of the things we have coming up. You have coming up at motorcycle events.
Okay, yeah. So motorcycle events, we have Hog Wild coming up in October, right, guys?
Yes. October 9th, Hog Wild. That's a great concert series coming up.
Sweet!
That's in Fort Pierce.
You said hog, and Boss Hogg Radio got all crazy.
Yeah, with Preacher Stone and Atlanta Rhythm Section, Fort Pierce. John and the guys there put on a great event. He's been doing it for a long time, so it should be very well attended. It's something that's going to keep going on and on. So that'll be very exciting. Yeah,
so we're definitely looking forward to that. We've got Trike Fest also. That's going to be, will be at Destination Daytona.
Yeah.
That's in September. I believe that's the weekend of the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Biketoberfest. We'll also be at Destination Daytona. That's whenever we go up to Daytona and that area, that's our home base. We have a pretty good partnership with Bruce Rossmeyer's dealership. If you guys have ever been, I know you guys have seen us. We have a spot usually at all their events right across from the pavilion. It's pretty much been our home base for the last couple years. So we'll be there for Trike Fest and for Biketoberfest.
Yeah, that's like the mecca of Bike Week. And again, people, Rubenstein Law, if they're at Bike Week, they're at the best place to be. Mm-hmm. So that's where you're gonna see them. But you'll see their billboards all over Daytona and all the way up I-4 and 75 or any 95. You'll know who to call, right, Deb?
Well, what's always nice too is, and people have told us, bikers ride on the weekends. That's 90% of the time they ride. And Rubenstein's open on the weekends. You don't get an answering service. You guys are open on the weekends. So for you to be at Biketoberfest and be set up there and on a Saturday, you've got access to anyone you need on a Saturday. So that's great.
Yeah, and what's good too is that we have our mobile office on site.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's ever somebody at one of these events that sees us and they think, well, hey, something happened to me, and they just have some questions, they could come on. I can even call in. We can run the case by an attorney right there on the spot. Mm-hmm. And be told if there's a case or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a great part of our setup. And when we're at these events, we come out. We have. You guys have seen our RV,
yes,
beautiful
mm-hmm.
RV, and we use it as our mobile office,
mm-hmm.
Which is something that is super convenient for us when we're out there to help.
Yes, that is very convenient too. So right while everything's fresh on your mind, and you have someone you can talk to right there too. So that's great. So,
yep.
And you have access to an entire motorcycle division, so that's what's refreshing and reassuring as well too. You have people that know everything from if your motorcycle is custom, if it's vintage. It's not just a bike. They know what you need, and they have experts on staff, and
they have
the technology
guys
and the forensics. I know.
They can find out what's going on, people. So it's really a pleasure, Danny. Thank you for calling in today. Anything else you'd like to add? Think motorcycle. Don't forget that one.
Oh yeah,
too, right?
think motorcycle. Yeah, you're bringing a lot of awareness to drivers.
Yep. If you see the RV parked at an event, you'll see it across the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Think motorcycle.
All right.
Yeah, but no. Just wanted to end with saying to all my fellow riders, ride safe, and if anything ever happens, Rubenstein Law, we've got your back. We'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see us out, stop by, say hi, say you heard me on the radio, and let's talk for a little bit. I want to hear about what our listeners are riding, and maybe a little bit about who they are. So anytime, we'll be there to help.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
Great.
Danny. We really appreciate your support and being a part of Born to Ride, and we're really proud to be a part of Rubenstein Law. Tell Mr. Rubenstein we said hello.
And the group and the gang. All right. Thanks, Danny. Okay, have a good night.
There you go.
Right,
front man out there in the public for Rubenstein Law himself there.
Yeah, he represents very well. He does a great job.
Yeah.
Him and Ed are always out there.
Day and night. They're setting
Can't
up.
believe no seat time on Lady Liberty yet.
I think I have that much seat time. I've been on her at every event that I've seen them at.
Man, that's cool. Speaking on the road, who's on the phone?
On the road. Let's see who we've got here. Hello. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
You're on the air.
I'm on the air?
Yes,
Is this
you
Mark?
are.
This is Mark. Mark, how you doing? We got
Hi, Mark.
from the Cherokee Blue Ridge Run.
I'm on the telling bone. Yeah. How you doing, Ron?
On the telly?
Good. I'm good.
Oh, man.
Good.
Cherokee Blue Ridge Run. I mean, first off, Cherokee is such an amazing place.
Cherokee, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's like God's country.
Just in case you thought it was Cherokee, Florida. Sorry.
Is it Cherokee, Florida?
No, I'm making stuff up, Skylar.
Yeah, I like it. I don't live there. I'm about 70 miles away from there, but I sure do get to spend a lot of time there these days, that's for sure.
So the Blue Ridge Run is coming up, and that's September 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yes, sir.
It's growing all the time, and, you have the casino, the Cherokee Nation, the museums, but you also have a great place to throw a biker rally, and this year you're bringing more and more to the flat track on Saturday. Tell us about overall what you have going on, Mark.
Well, this is year 4. Obviously, we cancelled last year, and so we have to be a little cautious coming back. But we recognized over the last few years that we got more interest, definitely, in the flat track racing, and so we started off in 2018 just putting dirt on an old running track out at the unused high school, and then in 2019 we went ahead and built a full-on quarter-mile dirt oval, partnered up with Celebration of Speed out of Tennessee, who put on some really awesome racing, and went for it. 175 races, run through the heats and finals in a day. Big purse, $10,000 purse. It was an epic day of racing, and it was pretty obvious that the crowd were more into the racing than a little bit more than they were standing around late at night for the band, some of the big bands. So we put more effort into the racing, and we still got a killer lineup and great bands. It's just that hey, we want to give the crowd what they really are asking for. So that's the direction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have some of the greatest riding: the Blue Ridge, Cherokee. You could go over the mountain over to Maggie Valley. I mean, everywhere you go, it's just a beauty of riding, and bikers love to come to that area of the country, the Southeast, and Cherokee, North Carolina. They say the stories that'll burn straight into your memory, and there's a reason, because you don't forget the beauty, but there's a lot of heritage there as well.
Oh yeah.
and you can certainly get reminders of it everywhere you look. I mean, there's right next door to the facility. We use the primarily we use the ceremonial grounds or the Indian Fairgrounds, which is right there on Sarley Boulevard or 441. Right next to it, almost adjacent, is the Indian Museum, and that is just chock-a-block with history and culture. You know, just up the road, there's the drama. There's a full-on play that they run all throughout the summer season, all about the history of the eastern band of the Cherokee Indians, the survival tribe that stayed behind when they had the mass evacuation and the Trail of Tears. And I'm sure that you're familiar with a lot of that pretty sad history, but yeah, lots of history, lots of culture in that town.
And they've taken it right up to the business, man, to a big business with the casino too. And I mean, it's really a mecca for the Southeast. A lot of economic impact is made from the bikers coming there, spending a lot of money in the casinos, the hotels, they're riding, the restaurants. And now the rally is so important, I think, to Cherokee. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, the motorcycle. They love motorcycles in that town. They really do. They're not just a town that tolerates guys that turn up on two wheels. They actually love them, and a lot of the tribe ride. Hey, the chief of the eastern band of the Cherokee Indian rides a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. You know, so they love them. But in Cherokee, you really can't ignore motorcycles. I mean, it's the last exit on the Blue Ridge Parkway. 469 miles from Virginia, ends in Cherokee. I mean, that's a must-do on every biker's bucket list. Is the Blue Ridge Parkway. Mm-hmm. If you turn left at the bottom of the parkway, you're in Cherokee. If you turn right, you go into the Smoky Mountain National Park, and then heck, you can go right over the top of some of the highest mountains there, 6,000 feet, and you're in Gatlinburg. The whole area, just like you quite rightly said, it's a mecca for motorcycle riding. I mean, there's no bad roads, to be honest. You know, you mentioned a few of them, the Cherahalla Skyway. Yeah, well, that's a favorite of mine. A lot of people go just because of the Dragon, and yeah, the Dragon is pretty spectacular, but hey, if you just focus on the Dragon, and you're missing out on a lot of great roads in that area. Mm-hmm. We're the sponsor of the big Wild Mountain Rides map, which we give out free at the rally. Yes. They print thousands and thousands of them, and you can't miss our ad. It's the whole back page. But you pick up one of those, and you make a point of never letting it go. You can ride the entire western North Carolina, Tennessee, into North Georgia on different roads, and you just have a perpetual grin on your face. You know,
perpetual grin. I love that.
Yeah, and speaking of riding and bikers and everything, you got a lot of cool activities, and one of the main guys that are going to be there is Dave Perowitz and doing his paint show, and he's a legend in motorcycling. What a nice guy he is.
Dave is a nice guy. He's a great guy, and this will be his. Ever since we brought the rally back, and this is year 4, and it's year 4 for Dave. So he comes in and he puts on it's a world class killer show, and as a result, he gets some of the really not so much high end. They don't have to be high end bikes. They just have to have outstanding paint. You know, it can be any bike as long as it's got some kind of killer, different, outstanding paint job. And there's a lot of real talented artists down here in the Southeast. You know, and a lot of guys coming out. I mean, a lot of guys coming out of the Atlanta area. South Carolina's got a bunch. Hey, I know you down in Florida. You got guys in Florida for sure. Mm-hmm. You know, so last year, right in your neighborhood, Corey Souza came up with a whole bunch of bikes, and he took a few of the awards. I think he's coming again this year. We made him come with different stuff, though. You know, You can't win. You can't win with the same stuff all the time here. We try and keep it fresh. But Dave puts on a great show. His show in Sturgis was yesterday. He had a huge turnout, and he was on the microphone telling people, "Hey, listen, you got to come to Cherokee. You got to experience the riding."
You do,
and, you know, and that's what it's all about. You know, we want people to. We give them a lot of stuff to do at the fairgrounds and on Saturday with the racing. But really, if you come and you don't pick up a free map and go and have a little bit of an explore yourself, then you're missing out. You know, and of course you can always come back some other time. You know, but the main thing is we've got a lot of stuff to do, and we know motorcyclists we don't need an excuse to go for a ride, but this is a good one, you know, to come to Cherokee, and you'll be spoiled for choice.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Cherokee, what were you going to say, Dad?
Speaking of fresh, you said we like to keep it fresh. So there's a different concept happening at the rally this year that we're going to help you with, and that is Choppertown Live.
Choppertown Live, yeah, we're pretty excited about that. You know, we've gone through a couple of different formats as far as the custom scene goes. We've for years been the qualifier for the World Championship, the AMD World Championship, and that's been pretty good. You know, there's some pretty high end bikes, and we've always we've stepped up and we've sent the winner off to the World Championship final, which is held in Germany. So their bike goes off in a container, and we give them some spending money. It seems that there's plenty of people building those kind of bikes still, but they're really the high end. These days, we really want to get back to a little bit more of is grassroots the right kind of terminology?
Yeah. Sure.
We want to get back. We want to get back to what it's all about, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about $100,000 custom builds. It can be about anything as long as it's knees in the breeze time, you know. So we've got choppers and we've got Choppertown Live. Now, I'm presuming, because you talk about it all the time, I'm presuming that everybody that listens to your radio show knows about Choppertown, right?
Well, they're learning all the time because it's a continuous marketing effort to push the word. And, you know, we just did MotoFest, and you know, you were here at MotoFest because you could feel the, you know, what was in the air, and it was brotherhood, sisterhood. It was the common guys and the real guy builders that are out there bringing their stuff. It was an invitation, and that's what Choppertown will be, an invitational to certain builders that we're bringing in, and they're going to be set up and displayed out. And then we're doing now a ride-in show as well, Choppertown ride-in show, and you've got the antique guys are coming in too, and then you've got Dave Parowitz art show. Paint show. So there's going to be a lot for everybody. But the Choppertown thing is just the everyday rider, the stuff that you'll remember. And as growing up, the guy down the street had that chopper, or your grandfather or grandma, or your uncle, your dad. You know, it's just real people hanging out, having fun, and experience the lifestyle. We got some great people coming in. We're excited about the beauty to be a part of your rally, and it's an amazing time. And you know, time goes by so fast. You got to make the most of it, right, Deb?
That's right. Blink of an eye. My bell-bottom pants were out of style, and now they're coming back in again.
Yes. I think you'll be surprised how many old shovels, choppers, and dirt that moves comes out of the hills of North Carolina for this year.
Yeah, bobbers, choppers.
Yeah, it's gonna be certainly more of a gathering than it is a show. I mean, we've got some killer prizes and stuff for people. I mean, the riding show that we've always had has always attracted a good a chopper crowd. But with Choppertown Live being the invite kind of gathering, I think. People are going to they're going to feel the vibe. I think it's going to be this retro back to the 70s in a minute. I'm going to have to go out and get some bell bottoms.
Yeah, exactly. Hip huggers.
Yeah, we're excited about it. So if you're listening, we're calling all bikes because it doesn't matter what you ride. Anybody could come in for the ride-in show. But when you come there, you're going to get to see some great bikes on display of real builders who are just out there making it happen. And some of them are unknown. Some of them are the guys to be known.
They're artists.
Yeah, they're just artists that create their passion. And, you know, that's what I like about it. They love each other. They hang out. They party together. And they enjoy each other's work. And you know, because it's a motorcycle. And you know, it's just an exciting time, and what a great place to do it in Cherokee.
Yeah, and the whole Cherokee area is great. Accommodations, there's camping, campgrounds. There's not necessarily on the campgrounds or the fairgrounds where you're having, but down the road there's RV resorts, I should say.
A lot of hotels,
motels, quaint motels.
It's a resort. It's a resort area, and you know the Smoky Mountain National Park is the #1 visited park in the U.S. So there's a tremendous amount of little cabins and lodges, and there's Ma and Pa type motels, and then of course at the other end there's the full-on largest hotel in North Carolina, the casino, and you wait till you see their $1 billion renovation. It's
they're expanding.
Wow.
Since our last event in 2019, they've built a whole new tower with 700 rooms. You know,
wow. It's so cool to wake up in the morning and you see the smoke on the mountains, and it's the Smoky Mountains.
I know, you're like,
that's the Smokies.
That's it right there,
That's why they call it that. And it's just, it's just a natural... it's like a natural high, man, to be up there.
And then everybody rides that. I don't know the name of the road, but it runs parallel with the river, and everybody stops along the side, undresses, jumps in the river, swims a little bit, gets back on their bikes and ride.
You see wildlife. I mean, you could see bear. You could see,
it's the
elk. The elk is beautiful.
I mean, that's a good story. That is, they reintroduced elk into that part of the national park. They're very, very close to the border there with Cherokee, and that herd has grown hugely. They come into town. You know, we put out a whole bunch of hay bales around the racetrack in 2019, and that's where the elk were every night. Eating our safety barrier.
Yeah. Now, Fester, you've been at Cherokee, and you got a couple of stories about the fun that you had there.
Oh, yeah. I've always enjoyed the Parkway, the Blue Mountain Ridge. It's gorgeous country, and it is made for motorcycle riding, no doubt. I mean, in other words, like he said, I mean, you're missing out if you're just simply going to the festival. You've got to get out there and enjoy those roads. And I agree with Mark here. You know, I mean, the Dragon's Tail, it's a big draw, but I mean, if that's all you're going for is the Dragon's Tail, you're missing out on some just beautiful countryside.
And the great little, speaking of culture, the great little roadside roadhouses to eat. Oh my gosh. You know, just real reasonable, you know, great breakfasts, great lunches, you know, just it's
friendly people too.
Yeah,
Stop,
exactly.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
I want pancakes.
So Skylar, are you excited? I think Joe's going to go. FTW is going.
We are going. I'm actually really excited for this one because there's no mountains in Florida.
Nope.
And I miss being up in all that green and a little bit farther north and like.
Oh, you could breathe.
You had me at elk.
You could breathe up there too. It's crazy.
There's not this humidity that just sits on you.
So, Mark, again, you have the Wall of Death coming in. You got all kinds of shows going on.
Oh, the concert.
Concerts. The flat
Wall
track.
of Death is the American Motordrome, and they're the regular guys that come in every year, and they've been on tour pretty steadily this year. Actually, they did the Vintage Days in Ohio. They did the Rockabilly Rockers. They've done a lot of shows, and they're keeping their act a little fresh. They got Hobo Bill is now doing the trick riding, and Karina, who she's a cool cat, is Karina. She's riding and doing tricks in the go-kart. So they've got some changes there. And then as far as changes go, we brought in some different stunts as well this year. In the past, we've had Adam Holbrook with his trials riding. He's doing something different this year, so we can't get him. And we've had the circus owner riding on tightrope. She's doing something. So we've got the Ives brothers. Now, the Ives brothers are well known.
That's a family tradition, too.
Oh, yeah. Now, they've got their own wall of death, so we don't need two wall of deaths, that's for sure. So they're going to bring in their freestyle motocross and backflip show on the ramps. And that's just insanity, that is.
Yeah, that's a thrill show in itself, man.
That's the stuff that you see at the X Games where the guys they're getting off the bike, they're upside down, they're back, then they get back on the bike before they land, and then in the middle of their ramps, as a bonus to us, they're throwing in their ball of steel. Where they ride inside that round cage and do the tricks there.
People love that. They love that.
And they're bringing it just because it was on the same semi truck as the
That's
freestyle.
awesome. And Mark, we're coming to the close of the show, but we got a minute or two left, I think.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about. You got the races coming up, man, and there's going to be almost close to 200 racers. You got a big purse for the winners. So if there's racers out there, there's still time to get on board, right? Tell me about the flat track.
Yeah, you can. You could probably get on board. Now we don't pre-register it. We register like many tracks do on that morning, and it's sheer magic that Pat and Spring, who from Celebration of Speed, they managed to work it all out, how long it's going to take to get these guys through heats and limited amount of practice time and then through the finals, etc. And there's a whole bunch of different classes. I mean...
Yeah, did you say there's a $10,000 purse? What's the purse on that? What are these guys can get a chance to win?
It's a $10,000 purse in different classes, and most of the classes are going to get you a chance of money back as well. It's a percentage on money back, but then on the pros and on the super hooligans, and we have a ton of super hooligans. That's the 1200 Sportster stuff. These are some fast guys, and we got teams coming.
That's awesome.
A lot of the Harley Davidson dealerships have hooligan teams. They come to our track. It was they had a good time.
Awesome. So they can get more information to Blue Ridge, BlueRidgeRun.com.
BlueRidgeRun.com is our website that there's a work in progress there, and we update it whenever we can. And then we've got a Facebook page too that we're hoping to get some posts up there more regularly. The racers can find information at onefeatherracing.com, which is new, and that's something we put together for all the tribal members so that they could be owners of a little team there.
Awesome, Mark. So let's get another update here in the next week or two because it's getting closer, people.
September's just around the corner,
right,
folks.
September
10th, 11th, and 12th.
10th, 11th.
Thanks for reminding me.
Fester, all right, man.
Appreciate it so much, Mark. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Okay, well, that about does it for another evening, Thursday edition of Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. As always, stay safe, keep it in between the ditches.
Think motorcycles.
And think motorcycles.
Born to ride.
Born to ride.
Bye-bye.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #Born to Ride Motorcycle Media, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Yeah, I have to say, Born to Ride has been a big influence on my trailer sales in the last 2 or 3 months. It's been nothing but a big surprise. I mean, the magazine articles, everything in the commercials, it's been nothing but the best of help to me in my business.
Is your business becoming invisible? Create a great advertising relationship today with Born to Ride. Call 888-795-5779.
This is the Boss Hogg Radio Network. 1170 AM WKFL Bushnell. 1330 AM WWAB Lakeland Plant City. 1360 AM WHNR Cypress Gardens Winter Haven. And 1390 AM and 107.5 FM WAVP and W298BU FM Avon.